You're living in a country where 11 million in Medicaid fraud gets you the same punishment your kids get for missing curfew. You're on probation, young man. Now go to your room and Venmo the state when you can. That's not justice. That's a rewards program for criminals, sponsored by blue states. Hello, everybody. Welcome to God, Guns, and Dogs. I'm glad you could join me. We're going to be talking about some bad blue states that are doing some really bad things. You ever notice how Democrats love saying that no one is above the law? They say it like it's a magic spell. Like if they repeat it enough times, they won't notice they're building a VIP skybox above the law for their friends. Because right now, in blue America, we have two justice systems, folks. In one system, if you're a normal person and you screw up your taxes, park in the wrong place, or defend yourself a little too effectively, the government shows up like, congratulations, you've unlocked the felony difficulty setting. In the other system, if you're a Biden-appointed judge, a politically convenient fraudster, or a favorite of the progressive machine, the justice system turns into your personal customer service department. Hi, thanks for stealing millions of dollars from us. How can we best accommodate your needs today, Somalia? Now let's take a tour. Buckle up. No seatbelt tickets here. We save those for the little people. So, first, the federal courts. We're told these people are monk-like, nonpartisan, and independent in the same way my dog is independent when he sits next to a container. You have a D.C. judge, a key figure in cases involving Donald Trump, now facing a misconduct complaint because he allegedly got a little too crazy with Biden's Justice Department. Almost like a ref was hanging out in a locker room drawing up plays with one of the teams before the game. Imagine you're watching the Super Bowl and you find out the head referee was holding strategy sessions with one coach all week. ESPN would melt down. There'd be a 24/7 special, Refgate, the whistle of corruption. But in DC, they call it norms and institutional coordination. And then there's a Biden-appointed judge accused of berating and bullying her own law clerks. A real hero of workplace equity, just screaming her way through the federal judiciary like a prestige drama version of The Devil Wears. The legal system lectures every small business in America about HR compliance, but inside their own ivory tower, it's apparently still the 1950s with lifetime tenure. The best part? The same judiciary that wants to micromanage your job, your school, your church, and your state's laws couldn't quite be bothered to give its own employees full legal protections. So if your judge is abusive, your options are 1, cry quietly, 2, hope someone writes a strongly worded letter that goes into a file that no one will ever read. Don't worry, they're just guardians of democracy. Guardians, bullies, same thing if you squint from far enough away, right? Now, let's head to Minnesota, where the weather is cold and the justice is lukewarm. Big headline. Largest Medicaid fraud in Minnesota history. Almost 11 million siphoned out of a program for the needy. That's not just a crime. That's an entire Netflix limited series. And what happens to one of the guys involved? 5 years probation. That's it. No orange jumpsuit. No. See you. Just we're disappointed in you. Now go sit in the corner. And promise to be better, okay? You and I miss a tax payment and the state comes at us like we stole the Hope Diamond. But this guy helps rip off millions in Medicaid money, and the response is basically, okay, here's the deal. 5 years of supervised adult timeout and a payment plan. Must be nice. It's like they turned grand theft into a buy now, pay later program. Sir, you've been convicted in the largest Medicaid fraud case in our state's history. For your punishment, we're signing you up for Klarna. You know what lesson every scammer in America just learned? Don't steal 500, steal 5 million. If you steal big, you're too systemic to fail. Then you get a lawyer, press release, and a plea deal. If you steal small, they make an example out of you. And the cherry on top of all this, folks, the guy agrees to help find the alleged mastermind who conveniently isn't around, like that robbing a bank. Isn't that like robbing a bank with your buddy, and when the cops catch you, you're like, look, I can't go to jail, but I will absolutely send you to his LinkedIn. Only under Democrat leadership can theft on that scale be treated like a customer service dispute. We apologize for any inconvenience this fraud may have caused our taxpayers. What's happening in Minnesota isn't just some weird glitch. It's a feature of blue state justice. In city after city, you see the same pattern. Let criminals out, make excuses, and then act shocked when crime goes up. It's the fail, repeat, rebrand strategy. First, they get rid of cash bail because apparently the real victim in any crime is the criminal's feelings. Guy has a rap sheet longer than a CVS receipt. We don't want to disrupt his journey. Second, they turn prosecutors into social workers with law degrees. The job stops being prosecute crimes and becomes process the trauma of the person who just robbed 6 stores and punched a grandmother in the face. Third, when the crime numbers explode, they publish a 90-page. When the crime numbers explode, they publish page report examining how this is actually your fault because you didn't vote enough for comprehensive community-based interventions funded at scale. And through it all, they still manage to sound morally superior. Criminals off the street. Don't you care about justice? No, I care about getting stabbed at a gas station at 2 in the afternoon. That's what I want to see. Meanwhile, a handful of deep blue cities rack up massive shares of murders, violent crime, and we're told the real issue is not the criminals, it's structural this and systemic that. Systemic, letting people do whatever they want and then acting surprised at the results. Here's the magic trick. The system can be incredibly harsh when it wants to be. It's not that they can't do law and order, it's that they choose when to do it. If you're a political opponent, oh boy, and then the full power of the system comes online instantly. Raids, indictments, leaks to the media before your lawyer even gets a phone call. The speed of CNN. But if you're a favored fraudster in a blue state, suddenly justice moves at the speed of the DMV line on a Monday morning. They're like, let's slow down, understand the root causes, consider alternatives to incarceration, maybe try restorative yoga. So the message is clear, folks. Steal millions from taxpayers, you might end up with probation and a payment plan. Work for a judge who treats you like a punching bag? Good luck. Be in the wrong political camp? Congratulations, you're public enemy number 1. Offer void where politically inconvenient. Blue states may apply exemptions. What all of this really shows is simple. The people running these systems don't believe in equal justice. They believe in managed justice. They believe in protecting the system and not the citizen. They will absolutely hammer a small business for a paperwork mistake, but shrug when it loot public programs. They'll talk endlessly about toxic workplace environments in corporate America, but if a federal judge is the toxic boss, suddenly it's complicated. They will lecture you about compassion for criminals, but never show 1 ounce of compassion for the victims who have to live with all these horrible consequences. It's like they took the idea of blind justice, ripped off the blindfold and replaced it with a pair of designer glasses that only see race, class, and party. And the cruel joke is you're still paying for all of it. You pay the taxes that fund the programs that get defrauded. You pay the price in safety when repeat offenders keep getting 1 last chance. You pay the trust costs when you look at the system and think, yeah, this is rigged. So when you hear the next lecture from some blue state politician, some Biden-appointed official, or some grandstanding judge about how they're the last line of defense for our democracy, remember what their democracy looks like in practice. Judges who can allegedly cozy up to prosecutors and still be called independent. Federal chambers where clerks get chewed out while lectures on dignity fly out of the same building. Fraud case in Minnesota history rewarded with probation and a promise to pay back the money sometime between now and the heat death of the universe. Oh, this is equal justice under the law, folks. This is justice for thee, loopholes for me. So no, I don't want to hear another sermon about being above the law until the people saying building escape for their friends, their donors, and their favorite criminals. Until then, we don't have a justice system, folks. We have a punchline, and unfortunately, the joke's on us. Thank you for coming to see me today. Please like and subscribe. It really helps with my algorithm. Remember, no matter what life throws your way, you still have potential. God bless you, and God bless America.